Hello and welcome back to my channel. It is me, it is I, Princess P, the real Princey, and today we are making this beautiful flower P. You can make it in any letter that you choose. These are the supplies that you're going to need. You're going to need some foam, whether it's styrofoam. I use flower foam, which I would not recommend and I would not use again because it does not stick long term. With the hot glue gun, you will need something stronger, something that will not peel off. So, word of advice, no flower foam. Use a styrofoam or something else. You'll need flowers, you'll need a glue gun, and you will also need something to cut, something sharp to cut. First thing that I'm doing is gluing my foam together to make the shape of the letter that I want, which is a P for Princess P. And keep in mind that sometimes when you get these foam blocks, they're not perfectly straight to line up with each other, and that's okay. You won't really notice it once you have all your flowers aligned and put together. And remember, you can make this as big or as small as you like based on the blocks that you use. You can cut them, you can customize it. You don't have to do anything cookie cutter. Make it your own. Once that's done, I'm going to start to trim the bottoms of my flowers. These flowers I got from Dollarama and Dollar Tree, and I'm just showing you there. These are dollar store flowers. This head came off, and I'm going to show you guys. Do not throw things away. Save, 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 and reuse. You know what we said? Reduce, reuse, and recycle. Coming out waste nothing, coming out no money for waste. Okay. And I'm cutting the ends of these to make them smaller. I'm not going to need this full stem. But as I just said, we are not throwing away the leaves. We are not throwing away those stems. We're going to keep them because we have other uses for them. Make sure you get a nice pair of wire cutters because it's not easy to cut these flower tips. Also keep in mind, if a flower comes off of the stem, don't worry. It could just easily be pushed right back in. Now what I've done here is I've used the stem from another flower that I just cut and I put it together with the flower head that I had from before. See how easy that was? That's why we don't throw nothing away. All I'm doing now is putting my flowers into my foam. Now with this, you make it as big or as small as you like. I chose to use medium-sized flowers. Once I put in like this large lily, I realized that it didn't fit the look that I was going for. So I moved things around and I ultimately took it out. You can do this however you like in terms of the flower style, the flower type. For me, I wanted this to be fun. I wanted this to be different. I wanted it to use a variety of flowers, but I didn't want all the colors to be in the same area. So I mixed it up a little bit with flower style and flower color throughout the whole letter. You'll notice that I'm cutting the stems even smaller. It just depends on how long you want it, how deep you want it to go into that foam. I didn't want it to go in too deep, and you definitely don't want it to go in far enough that it's gonna poke out the other side. When you're placing the flowers, keep in mind you don't want them to be too spaced. You don't want to see any foam underneath. You only want to see flower. And here she is. I love how this first step came out. I go through it, I make sure there's no spaces. I am a little OCD. Maybe I switch some flowers around, but ultimately I love it. what I'm doing now is using those green leaves that I told you not to throw away, and I am filling them in with a touch of green throughout the whole pea. I didn't want it to have this heavy greenery look, so just adding splashes of leaves was really all I needed. There's a little trick I'm going to tell you. With that stem that we did not throw away, we take that stem and we use it with the leaf that came from a stem, and it's easier to push into the foam and add your greenery. So that's what I did. I just used the stem inside the green leaf to be able to put it back into the foam. You know, I never want to put scissors to my nothing, and I ain't throwing nothing away that we may have another use for. So this is step one. I love how it turned out. As I turn this around, you can see we cannot leave our pea looking like that. Okay, so this is part 2 of my pretty pea, flower pea, whatever you want to call it. When I was making this, I wasn't thinking about the outside. So I came up with a solution. It would be great to have grass. I got this grass from just JYSK on sale. It's called Kuta, Kuta. I believe it's only seasonal. And I had already cut this up like this. You don't have to cut it off. You could just literally peel off the grass. Be careful when you're peeling it off, because these little pieces here, if they come out, you'll see black patches. It's literally pulling out the grass. I'm not too pressed because on the outside, but yeah, just be careful. You know, it's glued on, so there you go. And then with that piece, I fine-tuned it so it's a little skinnier. You'll notice that some of them have like the black on the edges, and you can see this is missing some bare. It's not that big of a deal. That's all happened because you're not really seeing it. And I'm just gonna line the outsides and the back and everything with grass, so it looks like there's flowers growing out of the grass. I'm pretty excited to finish this up. Watch me go. I just want to show you another angle. This is the side here, and I started to put it on here because I found it was a little bit easier. Ooh. Yo, my hands are always dry when I'm working, eh? I actually find I like to work. I find I work better with dry hands. I also like having no edge, so you can see I wrapped the edge there. I also wrapped this edge. I did not wrap this edge, but I will be using like scrap to just fill it in and blend it in properly. This is the bottom. Some people wouldn't even do the bottom, but yeah, you can see how it's coming along. You have your leaves typically cover the edge. So yeah. So I've done the outside. I did have flowers on the inside initially. So you can see, I don't like to measure crap. Just do it. A joke. You don't have to just do it. That's what I'm doing. Oh god. As I said, half-ass scissors won't work for this. Here she is, all done. I loved how this turned out. I used it for my birthday 2 years ago. It's such a great piece for spring, a nice DIY. It's a great piece of personalization if you wanted to keep in your office, in your room, as a piece of your decor. It's a really good idea. If you try this out, don't forget to tag me. Let me know how it turned out. See how it turns out with another type of foam. Because this foam can start to come apart, and it did come apart on me eventually. So let me know how it goes. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for staying with me. Oi, I big up my real ones. You don't know, so real recognize real in a real life. It's your girl, the real Princey, on another Make It Monday, baby. Bye.